Today I'll be reviewing Boruto chapter 52, Baryon mode. In this chapter and that ending with Naruto seemingly proclaiming victory, but then Isshiki bringing in Kawaki, and then that's followed by Borushiki possibly appearing in the next chapter. Went into this chapter stressed, but now I'm leaving this chapter extremely hyped for the next chapter, chapter 53, which will be the last chapter of the year. But let's talk about Baryon mode Naruto versus Isshiki. So the chapter starts with Naruto in his new transformation, staring down Isshiki, and both Isshiki and Sasuke are shocked, just like all the fans, and then Karma gives us a much needed explanation on how this new form actually works. So he compares it to a nuclear fusion, which Naruto doesn't really get, so he tells Naruto that there are two chakras being used to create a new type of energy, meaning it's not chakra. So basically it sounds like Kurama is saying that they've created something beyond chakra to fight Isshiki, which he goes more into detail about later, and Naruto asks the difference between it and his Nine Tails mode and the Sage of Six Paths mode, and Kurama says that is different from the start since those two modes use chakra from somewhere else, those being the Nine Tails obviously and the Sage of Six Paths power that he gave Naruto during the war arc. And he tells Naruto that this power is a totally different beast because as raw materials to create this energy, my chakra and yours gets consumed until one or both of our lives run out. So with the information that we've gotten in this chapter, this doesn't just put a countdown on Naruto's life, it puts a countdown on the Nine Tails' life, because one of them will run out of chakra. But the thing is, if the Nine Tails runs out of chakra and dies, then Naruto dies too because he's a Jinchuriki, so makes you wonder how that's going to go down. I wonder if we'll get a new name for this new energy source. Since it isn't chakra, they're just using chakra to create a new energy. So after that, Kurama also tells him not to make any unnecessary moves and to get rid of any excessive thoughts, because those are the tricks to keeping Baryon mode going for as long as possible. So then we finally get to see Naruto in his new form fighting against Isshiki and actually pushing him back. And even Sasuke says that Naruto is actually beating him now. And when Isshiki tries to use those cubes to crush Naruto, Naruto just throws them back at him and then kicks Isshiki to the ground. And then Isshiki tries to rush Naruto and Naruto punches him back and then catches his chakra rods with one hand. And even Sasuke says he could barely keep up with those chakra rods. So Naruto is essentially in an entirely new tier of power. And Isshiki for the first time he doesn't just look worried but actually scared and is wondering how Naruto powered up so fast. Meanwhile, we also get to see what Amado and Kawaki and the others are up to, and they're talking about how Kawaki got his arm, which we already knew, and how it's connected to Naruto. And this is all set up for what's going to happen at the end of the chapter. But Amado does also say that he can restore Kawaki's arm after Sumire asks him if he could, and he says it's the first thing he'll do when everything is over. Kawaki also says that Naruto's chakra is weakening. Then we see Naruto's Baryon form slowly losing energy, and Naruto says that he doesn't have much time left. We also see Boruto pass out while this is all going on, and that's when Isshiki figures out that the form shortens Naruto's life, and he says that Naruto is losing the bet. But as he's saying that, Isshiki starts to spit blood and Naruto says that the real game begins now. And his exact line is, "Now begins the real game to see which one of us dies first." And that might be one of the hypest lines from Naruto ever. We also see that Isshiki's shadow his flare is starting to go out. Then we get another flashback from Kurama explaining the power. He says that the power is immense and should definitely exceed his. However, they won't be able to win against him because it has great drawbacks and that they'll end up dying before he does. But he also says that shortening lives is the key because since all chakra is connected, this same power that comes into being from bits of their lives also shaves off his life when they come in contact with him. So essentially this form is a double-edged sword. Kurama also emphasizes this point by saying don't think about taking him down, just getting hits in, just like a boxer aiming to win by decision. So to basically shave off Isshiki's life till there's nothing left. And Isshiki also realizes this because he says he should have had 20 hours left to live, but instead he's got less than 30 now. He also says that the force isn't the issue, it's just getting hit himself is the problem. And Naruto is just continuing to just hammer away at Isshiki's life and just giving him an absolute beatdown. And this I wish we could have gotten this sooner. This is probably what people thought was going to happen when Naruto and Sasuke first showed up to face this dude, considering how broken they already are. But even that isn't enough to deal with Isshiki. Naruto had to resort to this whole entirely new form. But back to the chapter, Sasuke says that Naruto's chakra is getting lower and lower, and Isshiki tries to throw Naruto off by calling him a lesser species, but Naruto is still just giving it to him. And Isshiki says my lifespan has shrunk even more. He now has less than 10 minutes left to live, and says that he's got to prepare Kawaki, his vessel. Meanwhile, Naruto's like it's too late now, but then Isshiki is able to sense chakra through Naruto and says that he'll be the last one standing, and that's when he teleports Kawaki over to him. And the reason he was able to find him is because Naruto's chakra is connected to him via the arm. That's why they went ahead and explained that to us earlier in the chapter. So even though the room is completely cut off and even someone, I guess with a Byakugan or sensory skills, wouldn't be able to sense the room, because Naruto's chakra is connected to Kawaki, Isshiki was able to trace that back to him. And it's crazy to think that if Naruto does die, it'll be his own kindness that literally killed him. And Isshiki even comments by saying, "So that unsightly hand was functioning via your chakra, Hokage. I'm grateful to you, thanks. That meddlesome link, because of that meddlesome link, I was able to detect Kawaki and drag him out here at this late moment." And Sasuke is like, no way, this is bad. And that's when we see Boruto awaken, or I guess his eye awaken, and the chapter ends. Every single Boruto chapter ends on a cliffhanger, it feels like, but these last few pages in this chapter were insane. First, Isshiki drags Kawaki here so he can place the karma on him. But I think the biggest takeaway from the end of the chapter is Momoshiki possibly appearing in the next chapter, since I believe that was him at the end of this chapter. I've seen some people say that it's Boruto's Jogan finally appearing in the manga. I'll believe it when I see it. But the reason I think it's not the Jogan is because why would they bother having Boruto pass out in the middle of the chapter if they're just going to have him reawaken later with the Jogan? Based on what we've seen from the Jogan, he always just reawakens it in the middle of a battle. Him passing out and then re-waking up the Jogan hasn't been a thing so far. But Momoshiki appearing while Boruto is in potential danger has been a thing so far. So let's look at what could potentially happen in the next chapter based on what we know based on chapter 1/episode 1. So we know Kawaki will end up with the karma seal on him once again. We also know Naruto will end up sealed or is dead. I think Naruto being sealed is more likely than him being killed off, since if Naruto is going to die, it's going to be because of the power that he's using in this chapter, not because Kawaki killed him. So in episode 1 where he says, "I'll send you where I sent the 7th, that to me now doesn't imply that he's dead. It implies that he is sealed officially to me. Unless that ends up being Isshiki in Kawaki's body later on. But Boruto does refer to him as Kawaki, so I don't think so. So based on all that, we need to figure out what happens next and what leads to this. So right now Isshiki has less than 10 minutes to live and place karma on Kawaki, so he has to avoid Naruto while doing that. And Isshiki can't use Kawaki right now as a vessel like he did Jigen anytime soon, unless it's going to be an instant takeover, which shouldn't be possible since he wants Kawaki to be a perfect vessel after he revives. But when it comes to Momoshiki appearing, this only makes sense if he wants to protect his vessel Boruto, and unless Momoshiki is here to finish off Naruto, to help Isshiki, which I don't think is possible since Momoshiki probably doesn't want to be Ten Tails food, I have no idea why he's here. If he's not here to just protect Boruto from being Ten Tails food, since Boruto is his vessel, I have no idea why he's here. Then we have to consider Sasuke, who said he would stop Boruto if Momoshiki ever showed up again, but Sasuke's just been on the sideline the whole time watching this like it's a movie. Plus, we don't know how much chakra Sasuke has left, so who knows what could possibly go down. One thing that's going to happen regardless is Kawaki getting the karma But what happens to Naruto is still in question, since his mode is apparently counting down till he dies or till he runs out of chakra. But based on episode 1, Kawaki is involved if Naruto ends up dying or sealed. Kawaki kinda has zero reason to kill Naruto right now, unless, I don't know, he literally just has zero reason to kill him right now, so I don't think that's gonna happen. Kurama also told him not to do anything unnecessary, but I don't think he'll be able to keep that promise considering Kawaki is here. So let me know what you think is going to happen in the next chapter. I'm honestly curious as to what everyone's predictions are. But all that being said, thanks for watching and bye.